Alright, hello everybody, welcome to the 500 sub special. For this video, I'm just doing a pretty simple Q&A. I posted on my Discord and on my YouTube, just asking for questions. And in this video, I'm going to answer those questions. So it might be a little bit of a long video, but I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless. And I responded to, I'm trying my best to respond to every question that was asked. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Before this video starts, I kind of just wanted to make this just say thank you guys so much for 500 subs. It's still crazy to me that I have more than like 15 people watching me, because it was like a month and a half ago that I did have 15 people watching me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. I hope you guys are liking the videos. I know they're coming less frequently right now, but I hope you guys are enjoying them nonetheless. Thank you to everybody who is subscribed. If you aren't yet, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to get into the questions now. Alright, so first I'm going to answer the questions that I got on my Discord. So if you guys are not already in the Discord, make sure to join. The link will, as always, be down below. I didn't get too many questions on my Discord, but, I mean, there's only like 60-something people in it, so getting about a question per every 10 people I think is fine. So Lizard Wizard right here asked, here, I'll put it towards the bottom. Lizard Wizard asked Best Doom Album. For those of you who don't know, I'm a little bit of an MF Doom fan. For the longest time, I actually think currently my YouTube icon is the Victor Von 2 album cover. I mean, I don't know how basic it is, but honestly, Doomsday is probably my favorite one. I just really like the super classic Doom style. Is it his best album? No. But it's my personal favorite. It's the stuff that he made that got me into his music. I think best is probably Mad Villainy. I mean, that's a super basic answer, but it's probably his best. I also like the stuff that he made as King Ghidra, and he does a whole bunch of good collabs. He recently recently an album that he put out with Czarface got released. He recorded all of it before he died. And that I've actually been really enjoying. I like most of the songs on that album. So, favorite, I would say, is Doomsday, just because that's the stuff that made me get into him. But best is probably Mad Villainy. That album's crazy. Extert, is that like, I don't know how to pronounce that. Extert asks, what is your least favorite mouse? Oh god, this is a good question. Because for a mouse to be like my least favorite, I need to actually use it enough to dislike it, because most mice that I like truly don't like, I just use for like a week and then I'm like, no, I really don't like this, and I just don't use it. So probably like the G502 maybe, because that was a mouse that I used for a few months because it was like the first mouse that I got when I got my PC. This is a tough question to answer. Okay, I know. I really don't like the Cooler Master MM710. I know that's a mouse that a lot of people like, but the build quality has always been an issue for me, and it's always just been so incredibly uncomfortable in my hand. However, those of you who know the channel pretty well, I also fucking hate the Glorious Mice, so you might that might also be my least favorite mouse. What is your favorite linear, tactile, and clicky mouse switch? So I am a linear person. I've pretty much always used linears. My favorite linear switch, currently the switches that I use in my Tokyo 60. Do I have a keycap puller handy on my desk? I could have sworn I just moved one. Oh yeah, here we go. I am currently using, if you guys can see there, I'm using a stem swapped switch. These are the Durock linears that I've stem swapped with some Kailh Speed Silvers. So honestly, I really do just like the stock Durock linear. Not any recolors, not any JWK stuff, just stock Durock linear. I do really like those. These, specifically, I stem swapped with the stems from a Kailh Speed Silver, and that's just because it makes the switches a little bit faster in terms of response time. It makes them feel a little bit smoother, in my opinion. It also shortens the travel distance, which I kind of like. So that is my personal favorite switch. However, if you're asking my recommendation, it's going to be the Durox. You don't need to do the spring swap. Tactile, I don't use that often. I do have a set of lubed and filmed Holy Pandas that I like quite a bit. For me, the issue with tactile switches is that so few of them actually feel tactile. So the only switches that I like are the extremely, extremely tactile switches. I have yet to try Zelios, but I've tried both the Holy and Glorious Pandas. And lubed and filmed Holy Pandas are probably my favorite linear. They got to be lubed lightly, though. Sorry, not linear, tactile. They got to be lubed lightly, though, because if you lube them too much, they start to be less and less tactile, and that's no fun. Oh, by the way, SM liked this. Sorry, posted this. I just want to make sure that I'm crediting the questions to each person. In terms of clicky, the click bar switches made by Kale and Novel Keys are really, really good. So those are the Kale Box Jade and the Kale Box Navy. It just comes down to which weight you prefer. I've tried both, and they both feel really, really good. The issue is just they're super noisy. So those are definitely my favorite clickies, though. Charge says, congrats on 500 subs, been supporting for about a month. Are you going to do more gameplay content in the future? I'd be interested in seeing some hand cam gameplay. This is a very, very solid maybe. I think the issue right now is that I'm not actually playing enough games to want to really make content about like the game specifically, because I'm working a lot and then I'm coming home and I'm having other stuff to do. So I'm not able to play the games that I want to be right now. However, if I start making any amount of gameplay content, I'll 100% try to throw a hand cam in there. So yeah, that is a super solid maybe. I can't commit to anything, but it's definitely something I'm thinking of. Ali Aaron / Proofit. I don't really know. Is that like profit? The old EC coding is really bad, always greasy and dirty. The coding is a fingerprint magnet. Does this problem exist in the new EC series? For the most part, Zowie in general has fixed their coding. I totally know what you're talking about. Probably like 3 years ago, I think, though, they switched up the coding, and it's been really, really nice ever since. I mean, it's still not good coding, but like here, right on my desk, I have my EC3C. I've been using it a little bit lately. Haven't noticed any issues with the coding. And then Crippled Ape asks, how do you sound Jesus Christ. Why do you sound handsome? I guess I'm just handsome IRL. I don't really know what to tell you. So yeah, these are all the questions that I got on my Discord. If you're interested in joining the server, link as always is down below. You guys can also always DM me questions if you have them. All right, now I'm gonna go over the question that I got asked on my YouTube. So about 2 days ago now, I posted this video onto YouTube just asking for questions, and you guys definitely supplied them. So I'm just gonna go through and answer most of the questions on this YouTube video. So first off, Zach asked, can you show the exact grip you use when gaming side to side? So this right here, I know that I do a lot of this when I'm like making videos, and that's just because this is good for like browsing. However, this is the grip that I use when gaming. So as you can see, I do something kind of weird with the fingers here. It just gives me a lot of control on the right side of that mouse, and I sort of arch my fingers like this. I definitely hold towards the end of the button. And then at the bottom, you can see my palm really wraps around the base of the mouse. And then I have my thumb right here, my fingers right here. This is just how I've always gripped mice, and it's super comfortable for me. Cheese asks, have you used a small fingertip grip mouse like the Zyzrael or HSK? I have not used either of those mice. I think unless you're kind of really, really looking for weight, I think that that's kind of a mistake to use a mouse like that, because I know that the Viper is not necessarily a fingertip shape, but if I hold it in a fingertip shape, the only downside is that I have a little bit extra mouse back here, but like that's not really a downside for me. So I think unless you are explicitly trying to shave a lot of weight, those mice are not really something I can recommend. And unless you are buying the like crazy carbon fiber one or the Zyzrael, I think the HSK isn't great build quality from what I've heard. So personally, I don't recommend these mice, but if you like them, it's fine. Which mouse and mousepad do you recommend for high sensitivity players with hybrid palm fingertip grip? I'm not really going to answer this, and if I get other questions that are like specifically like, oh, I use high sensitivity, I just join the Discord and ask there, because I respond to all of these in the Discord, or at least I try to. But for this one in particular, I kind of just recommend the Hien for everybody, and then mouse, I don't think that you can really recommend mice based off of sensitivity. I think that it is just what you like and what you can aim well with. So for this, I'm just going to say Artisan Hien and then whatever works for you. What are your thoughts on chairs or seating setups for gaming general computer use? And then what do you think of the G-Wolf's Hot ES? I've not tried the Hot ES. I don't know. Some people like it. It seems just like a pretty generic ambidextrous fingertip shape, though, so I don't know. I don't have many thoughts on it, if I'm being honest. However, what are your thoughts on chairs or seating setups? I think that non-mouse keyboard related things go way over people's heads when they're considering like optimal gaming setups. I will say I think that like chair setup is much more for comfort than it is for aim, but I think that like your elbow should be near a 90-degree angle when sat on your desk. I think that you should have your full arm on the desk, so you can. I think if you're resting any of your arm on the armrest of your chair, that's just a mistake. I think you should be fully tucked in so that your stomach is touching the desk. I think you should be able to obviously have your feet steady on the floor, and I think that you should be consistent with that. How did it end up with your sleeves from Under Armour? I kind of touched on this lately. The sleeve itself is totally great. I've just been playing games less and less, and if I'm not like actually scrimming for 4 hours, the sleeve just is not really worth using because I don't actually irritate my arm. Because the reason that I was wearing it, of course, is that the key end's a little bit rough, and if I play for a prolonged period, I can get sort of irritated on my underarm. That's not the underarm, but the under of my arm. So I still really like the sleeve, and I still have it, obviously, but I haven't been using it lately just because I haven't needed it. Vinto asks, what are your favorite control mouse pads? And then what mice mouse do you recommend for claw grip? Claw grip is really subjective because you have the like ZA series, and then you also have stuff like the S and the XM1. But there's lots of good shapes for claw grip right now. Again, I'm going to direct you towards the Discord. But yeah, I think there's really good options right now. I'd recommend anything made by an established company. But there's honestly so many good options. There's not like one good claw grip mouse out right now. And then favorite control pads, GameSense Radar. I still really do like the Zowie GSR, the classic one. And then the Hyateatsu, I don't quite know if it's a control pad, but I do quite like it a bit, and it's fairly slow. What mouse would you recommend for large hands using a fingertip grip? Also, can you recommend some mouse pads for tack shooters? I think that genre-ifying mouse pads is kind of a mistake, because I think it is so subjective. I will say a lot of pro players in tack shooters tend to prefer control pads, and for that I'd recommend something like the Zowie GSR or the GameSense Radar. So if you want a control pad, I'd recommend one of those. And then MP510, I've heard really good things about this pad. I haven't actually tried it, but I have heard great things about it. And then if it's being rough on your skin but you like the surface, arm sleeve. And then mice for large hands, I'm going to point you towards the Discord. However, quick answer, FK2 clones are really good for fingertip grip. Do you think the G303 Pro X is a real mouse that is going to come out in the near future? I'm not sure. I've seen all the leaks. I'm not good on like the history of leaks. And if I were, I'd make a better claim on this, but the leaks that I've seen seem very real in terms of like the mouse. If it's a fake, it's a really good fake. I'll say that much. But yeah, I really don't know if it's real. If it is, I'm gonna 100% test it and put out a video on it. But yeah, I don't quite know if it's real. However, it looks really good, and I hope it's real. It makes sense for it to be real. I don't know. It's just one of those things where like nothing about my life is gonna, like, I'm not gonna do anything differently if it is real. So I get to kind of just sit here and be excited if it is. What do you think of the G-Wolves HSK? Kind of already responded to that one above. What do you think of Ergo versus Ambi, and how do you see the future in mice? This is a great question. Lightweight Ergo. I think the issue is that a lot of companies believe that Ergo players are like these big heavy-handed freaks that just want to like have a brick in their hand that they can move, and I understand where that comes from because a lot of Ergo players are also palm grip players, and if you're a palm grip user, you don't necessarily need the lightest mouse. However, obviously lighter weight is better, and I think you're seeing that in like the EC3 and some other Ergo shapes that are coming out that are still like not necessarily lightweight mice, but are on the lighter end of mice. And then in terms of Ergo versus Ambi, it's just so subjective. Personally, I think the best spot is somewhere in between with this MP01, where it is definitely an Ergo shape, but it is less prominent on the Ergo side. And then obviously, I still think that the prominence of Ambi mice is incredibly important because their left-handed people do exist. What are the best all-around gaming companies? I actually saw this when it got posted, and I was so excited about answering this question. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go with Logitech because they are a company that makes one of the best mice around. They make passable mouse pads. They make really good keyboards if you want to do only gaming, but obviously no gaming company makes a good keyboard for typing. And then they also have a really great customer service and quality control. A lot of people might say glorious because they have the GMMK Pro and they have the Model O, but they have garbage customer service. I think I'd have to say Logitech, in my opinion, is the best all-around gaming company. There might be one that I'm just like completely blanking on. But there's a lot of companies, most of the companies that make the best thing in their field just only go in that field. Like Final Mouse makes a really, really good mouse, but they have not touched keyboards. Vaxi, Zowie. I mean, Zowie has touch keyboards, but their keyboard's dog shit. But Zowie makes really good keyboards and mouse pads. But then you also have to look at, Logitech then also does audio, and they also do like steering wheels for racing games if you want that. So I think I'm going to have to go with Logitech, although this is a really, really great question. Do you think 3D printed mice and or custom mice are good investments? I don't think you should ever view a mouse as an investment. Because investment sort of implies that like it has inherent value after you purchase it. I think that if what you're asking is, are they good long-term options? I don't know, because I really don't know the quality of 3D printed mice. I think that 3D printed mice can be really, really great custom options for people. I know, oh god, what's their name? It's like something fish. Their logo's like a little barracuda. They make 3D printed mice, and they seem like really, really great options because you can get a shape that works perfect for you, and then you can get it with really top-of-the-line features. However, I cannot speak about long-term quality, and I assume that's what you meant by investment. What are your thoughts on the G Pro Superlight? I have an entire video reviewing this mouse. I like it a lot. I think it's sort of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none type mouse. I have it right here. I have it on my desk. I use it every now and then. I like it a lot. However, it's a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none mouse. I think if you can only buy one mouse, buy the Superlight. However, if you have the means to sort of test out many mice, I recommend doing so, because there's probably a mouse that's better for you. What do you think the best keyboard to get under $100 is? I think it really depends what you want. If you want like a gaming keyboard, there's pretty good options under $100. If you want like a good typing experience, I'd honestly recommend getting like a GK61 and just upgrading the fuck out of it. Plus with the GK61 you can upgrade it more down the road. So if what you want, it very much depends on what you want. Personally, I might do a video on like what to best like keyboard build under $100, but in all honesty, like a $50 keyboard that's been lubed is going to sound and feel a hell of a lot better than like a $200 gaming keyboard. So I think the best option is to get something cheap and then upgrade it and make the best out of it. Can you do Setup Tour best cheap mouse pad? Setup Tour coming at 1,000 subs. TLDR, yes, I'm going to do a Setup Tour. I'm just not, I think that the best time to do it, I am moving out in 2 weeks now. And I think the best time to do it will be then, because I'll like have just set it up and everything, and it'll look super nice. So I'll do a Setup Tour within the next month. Best cheap mouse pad. I don't quite know what you mean by cheap. Best bang for your buck mouse pad is probably the Zowie GSR, because it's just going to last forever, and it's just a good mouse pad. GameSense Radar is about $5 more than a GSR, and I can say the same things about it, except it's just a surface that more people are going to find usable. However, that is also a $30 mouse pad, and if that's too much for you, that's fine. But in terms of like really, really cheap budget mouse pads, QCK, you can get a really big QCK for like $10, and it's pretty solid. Show a photo of your entire setup. If you guys want to do some really deep dives and somehow find my Reddit, it's on there. But again, I'll do a setup tour in a little bit. What's your SR, and why does every Zen main play on a really low sens? So first off, SR, I kind of have two. Well, I guess I sort of have three. I scrim at like 3,800. I'm actually one of the lower SRs on my collegiate team. I play in like low masters-ish. So I don't know, it fluctuates a lot. My peak is like 36. But I fluctuate a lot, and then I scrim at like 38. And then the SR I actually most often play at is like 34 or 35. Just because I prefer to, honestly, I have like 3 different ult accounts that are around that 3400 SR, and I find that I just like enjoy Overwatch so much more if I'm not actually playing to grind SR, because obviously I still play to improve, but I care much more about team play right now than I do individual SR. And then why does every Zen main play on a low sens? I assume that's what that is, a low sens. I don't quite have an answer. First off, not everyone does. Unco used to play on a really high sens, and he was super good for a couple years. I think the answer that I have always gotten is that Zenyatta is a character where you're playing in the back line, and you don't really need to do 180s consistently. Like, unless a character is diving you, you don't need to do a 180. For the most part, you're sitting very far back and looking at the battlefield and shooting at people. So having that really nice precision and shooting from long range, it makes it worth. Is the GPRO wireless worth it for 110? Off the top of my head, I cannot say yes or no, because I don't know if there's a better option for 110. But I think if you want if you were worried about budget and you want a wireless mouse... Oh wait, what the fuck? The Razer Viper Ultimate's like 90 without a dock. 100% I'd rather get a Razer Viper Ultimate than a G Pro wireless at 110 versus 90. So, not really. I don't know. Weird question. I'm not quite sure how to answer that. What's your experience with hand or wrist pain? I've been experimenting lately, but running a pretty high sens. I have never really had hand or wrist pain. I've had a lot of elbow pain. Not a lot. When I have been grinding the game the most, I will have some elbow pain. However, I've never really had like finger or hand or wrist pain, which is super fortunate. But I found to prevent the elbow pain, I kind of just like don't play that much. Because I would get elbow pain when I was like in high school on winter break, and I would just play Overwatch forever. Congrats on 500 subs. Thank you very much. Okay, after quite a bit of thought, came up with a cool question. If you could answer it completely honestly within yourself. You could use one mouse pad for the rest of your life, and your choices were between Artisan Hien, Artisan Hyate Atsu. I'd have to go with the Hien. I think, honestly, both of these are really, really great mouse pads, and in my opinion, it really just comes down to how much speed you want, because the Hien is just that little bit faster. Personally, I'd go with the Hien. However, I think if you're asking me, should I buy the Hien or the Hyate Atsu, they are really, really good options, and it 100% just comes down to how much more speed you want. Minimum weight a mouse should be... Nope. Probably like 20 grams. I don't know. That's an easy question. Yeah, probably like 20 grams. I think this is just the same person that commented on my Discord, so I'm not going to answer it here as well. Please do a review of the MP01. I don't want to disappoint you. I will probably not be reviewing the MP01, at least for a while. If I eventually want to move to it, I will. But having the MP01, liking it, I don't really foresee myself getting the MP01. What's your favorite sport to watch? Basketball. What's your favorite sport to play? Ultimate Frisbee. I played Ultimate Frisbee in high school. I was quite good. I played on the varsity team. But yeah. So Ultimate Frisbee to play, basketball to watch. Other hobbies outside of PC stuff. I play Magic the Gathering. I made a video about that. Didn't do that well. I write sometimes. Hang out with people. I have friends. That's a very important thing. Have a fucking social life. To all you little 16-year-old top 500 Overwatch players that just sit in your room all day, don't fucking do that. Go outside. Make friends. It's so important. I don't know what that is. Will you buy... That's the $300 mouse. I'm not fucking doing that. Artisan Zero Alternative. The thing with Artisan pads, with the Zero at least, is that it's not a unique surface. It's just a well-known surface done extremely well. If you want the surface, get like a GameSense radar, get a QCK. Those type of fast-ish control pads are very similar to the Zero. It's just the Zero is that mouse pad done really well. Esports Tiger mousepad thought. I want to try them. I do want to try them. Haven't yet, but I do want to try them. Can you try the ZA13B? I did. If you look on my channel, some of the first videos I made were about that mouse. And do you play Quake? I've tried it. I've tried it. I don't quite know. It's just not polished enough for me, frankly. Which I know is kind of a weird thing to say, but I don't know. What is your hand size? 20 by 10, 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And then I don't understand how you use a low sensitivity in a wired mouse, even with a bungee and a paracord. I do. There's no really secret to it. I have a really nice paracord by Agile Cables and a really nice bungee, and that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, there's no really secret. I just kind of put up with it. So yeah, that is the Q&A. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for 500 subs. Hopefully 1,000 subs soon, and I'll do another video for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to like and subscribe. Check the description if you want to join the Discord, and I'll see you all later.